My wife and I hadn't physically connected for almost 9 months until I found a positive pregnancy test under the sink. Then I stumbled upon the burner phone, the texts, and the hidden plans. The real chaos started on her birthday night. My name's Ethan, 35, and for the better part of my adult life, I believed I was living the dream, married to the woman everyone else admired. Stylish, sharp-tongued, always glowing in the spotlight. Mallory was the kind of woman who could charm a room in 5 seconds flat and make everyone believe we were perfect. I knew we weren't, but I didn't know just how bad it had gotten until the day I found the pregnancy test. Let me be perfectly clear, I hadn't touched my wife in nearly 9 months. And not for lack of trying. I reached. She recoiled. I asked. She declined. Every excuse under the sun, migraines, deadlines, body image, burnout. It wasn't just physical distance. She pulled the emotional ripcord too. No late-night cuddles, no quick kisses at the door, not even the lazy Sunday lounging we used to do in our old life. We were roommates with rings. But outside? Picture perfect. She still wore that smile, the kind that made strangers assume we were soulmates. Our friends envied us. Her Instagram portrayed us as the couple who had figured it out. What a joke. I suggested therapy. She laughed it off. Don't be dramatic, she said. Everyone goes through slumps. Maybe. But that Sunday afternoon? That's when the curtain dropped. I was fixing a leaky pipe under our ensuite sink. It's just a trickle, no big deal. I pulled out the bin of supplies and there it was wedged behind a bottle of glass cleaner. A digital pregnancy test. Face down. Still faintly glowing. I turned it over. Pregnant. Time stopped. At first, I thought I was hallucinating. Then I did the math. We hadn't had sex in 9 months. My heart didn't race, it just sank. Sunk into my spine, my shoes, the tile beneath me. I checked the trash. Empty. Checked her phone. Locked, new passcode. Bedroom drawers? Nothing. Closet? Just the usual designer chaos. But deep down I already knew. She was pregnant. And it wasn't mine. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Rage is loud, but the strategy is silent. That week, she came home from a showing all smiles and lip gloss. Dropped her purse like nothing had happened. Gave me a breezy kiss on the cheek like we were newlyweds again. Good day. I asked. She beamed. Great. I think we're finally closing on the cabin listing. I nodded. Didn't flinch. Didn't blink. She poured herself a glass of wine. And I watched her like a detective watching a suspect pretend not to know the cops are outside. The next morning, I checked under the sink again. The test was gone. I ordered a hidden camera. Next day shipping. Installed it inside the vent of our walk-in closet, angled just right. I had a hunch. Mallory had been spending a little too much time near her shoe rack lately. Something always felt off about the way she lingered. 3 days later, I watched the footage. She opened a hollowed-out lotion bottle. Pulled out a second phone. A burner. Opened WhatsApp. Started typing. To someone labeled L. He doesn't know. Still hasn't touched me. We're safe. Then. Doctor says 8 weeks. We should talk about the next steps. And finally. Love you. I didn't feel rage. I felt something colder. Clarity. I saved every frame. Every message. Every click. Because Mallory wasn't a woman who made a mistake. She was a woman who made a plan. And now? So was I. After watching the footage from the hidden closet cam, I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't even move for what felt like hours. I sat there, in the dark, with my laptop on the kitchen counter, watching my wife tell another man she loved him over and over, in varying tones of secrecy and softness. I watched her lie to my face in real time. Watched her schedule lunch with a client and then texted him about what she'd wear. Watched her check her reflection before she walked out the door. And the worst part? I wasn't even surprised anymore. The footage was a blueprint of betrayal. But I needed a name. A real one. L wasn't good enough. So I dug. Mallory wasn't exactly clever. She used the same burner to text him that she used to email her mother about brunch. Eventually she slipped. I cross-referenced times, locations, and old texts from her real phone. Then I found him. Luke Harrington. Her work friend. The one she mentioned once or twice, usually dismissively. Oh, Luke? He's annoying. Always late. Talks too much. A married man. With 2 kids. A mortgage. A LinkedIn profile full of self-congratulatory posts about team culture and leadership integrity. A man who sat 2 rows down at her firm's holiday party. I stared at his profile picture for a long time. And then I smiled. Because it was his wife I reached out to first. Her name was Dana. And Dana was exactly who I needed. She didn't scream. Didn't cry. Didn't even ask who I was. Just read my message, short, factual, and to the point. Hi, Dana. I think your husband is having an affair with my wife. I have video and time-stamped messages. Can we talk? She replied within 5 minutes. Where and when? We met at a coffee shop. Neutral territory. Mid-morning. No crowd. Dana walked in like she already knew what the truth would feel like. Sharp blazer. No makeup. A face made of stone. I showed her the footage, the messages, the pregnancy test. Her jaw didn't drop. Her lips didn't tremble. She just nodded. I thought something was off, she said. I just didn't know it was your wife. We talked for nearly an hour. Compared timelines, trips, excuses. They'd been seeing each other for almost a year. Started off as working late, then escalated. The pregnancy was recent, but the betrayal was vintage. Dana had her evidence. Receipts, location pings, voice notes. She'd been quietly building her file. We'll time it together, she said. Take them down clean. I nodded. Two strangers, bonded by mutual devastation, now strategizing like CEOs of a hostile takeover. This wasn't just about catching them. It was about exposing them. And neither of us was interested in mercy. Back home, I upped my game. Started logging Mallory's movements like a private investigator. Screen captured every interaction on the hidden cam. Took photos of her leaving for client dinners in that red dress she swore she hated. I even bought a prepaid phone, separate from mine, purely for evidence transfer and coordination with Dana. I'd never felt so awake. Like every moment of my married life before this had been sleepwalking. Mallory didn't notice a thing. She still smiled, still asked if I wanted Chinese or Thai, still curled her hair before she left. It was like watching an actress run lines in a play she thought no one would review. But the curtain was about to fall, and this audience was ready for the encore. Revenge is like building a fire. If you light it too early, you get a flicker. But if you stack the fuel, fan the air, and wait until it's bone dry, then you get an inferno. Dana and I weren't in this for flickers. We wanted flames. She and I met 3 more times in the weeks that followed. Once in a bookstore cafe, once in her car outside Luke's office, and once in a bank parking lot like we were spies. At every meeting, she handed over more. Calendar printouts, photos, a full screenshot of Luke's phone backup she had access to. And the best one, a video of Luke in their living room, on the phone with Mallory, telling her he couldn't wait to be a father. 8 minutes long. Mallory, in the recording, called me dense. Said I wouldn't know a clue if it hit him in the face. Luke laughed. Said, he's useful for now. Just ride it out. Once it's born, we'll move fast. My hands went cold. They weren't just cheating. They were plotting a replacement life. One that removed us like expired wallpaper. But that's the thing about blueprints. You need a stable foundation. And Dana and I, we were already tearing up the floorboards beneath them. We set the trap in 3 phases. Phase 1. Digital extraction. I mirrored Mallory's burner phone using software Dana's tech-savvy cousin installed on a thumb drive. Every message, every photo, every call, cloned in real time. Phase 2. Legal lockdown. I met with my divorce attorney. Quietly. No alerts. We crafted papers. Asset protection. Custody strategies. I started transferring our shared finances into a new solo account under a legal pretext she couldn't challenge. Phase 3. The party. Oh yeah, there was going to be a party. Mallory's birthday was coming up. She insisted we host something low-key. Just close friends, she said. Some wine, some music. No drama. Dana and I looked at each other and saw the same idea spark. Expose them together. 1 room, 2 liars, and an audience. I rehearsed it like a presentation. The moment, the tone, the reveal. I bought a small projector, set up a hidden playlist with the recordings, texts, and even a voice clip of Mallory laughing about how easy it is to keep secrets when the other person's predictable. You know what's predictable? Karma. And it was coming. The week of the party, she got giddy. I can't believe you're doing all this, she said, kissing my cheek. I feel spoiled. I smiled back. You deserve it. And I meant it. She deserved everything she was about to get. The morning of the party, I brewed coffee like it was any other day. Mallory floated around the kitchen in a silk robe, humming to herself. She kissed me on the cheek and told me she couldn't believe how lucky she was to have a husband who still made an effort. I smiled. You have no idea. She didn't notice the duffel bag in the trunk of my car, or the burner phone in my coat pocket, or the divorce papers sitting in a manila envelope marked Happy Birthday, because she wasn't looking, because people like her never think the masks will slip. But today they would. Guests began arriving around 6 p.m. It was cozy, warm lighting, background jazz, the kind of setting that makes betrayal feel even colder. Dana arrived exactly at 6:40, just as planned. Her entrance was surgical, subtle, silent. She wasn't here to make a scene. She was here to finish one. Luke showed up at 7:05. Wife at home. Ring on his finger. Hair gelled like he hadn't been sleeping on a couch for 2 weeks. He nodded at me. I nodded back. We shook hands like nothing was wrong. Mallory lit up like a teenager seeing her crush at prom. She tried to play it down. Failed miserably. "Oh, Luke, you made it. Wouldn't miss it," he said, voice smooth. "You will," I thought. "You'll miss this whole life by the time I'm done." At 7:30, I tapped my glass. Everyone turned. "Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming. Before we do cake and gifts, I just wanted to show a little something I put together. A tribute to my wife. A highlight reel, if you will." The lights dimmed. The projector lit up. The first slide. A sweet photo of our wedding day. Gasps. Laughter. Then a video clip. Mallory in our closet. Whispering into the burner. "Still hasn't touched me. We're safe." Dead silence. Another clip. Luke on the phone in his car. "Once it's born, we move fast. I'm not waiting forever." A ripple of confusion. Someone stood. Mallory's voice again. "He's predictable." He'd never even think to look. Her face paled. She turned to me. "Ethan, what is this?" I didn't answer. The last slide appeared. Pregnant. Then the screen went black. Dana stood next to me now. Calm. Composed. A storm in heels. Luke, already inching toward the door. "Too late. Sit," Dana snapped. And to everyone else, "That's the man who cheated on me for almost a year. With her." She pointed at Mallory, who now looked like a glitching hologram. I stepped forward. Held out the envelope. "Happy birthday, Mallory. These are your divorce papers. You'll find the full list of evidence and my attorney's contact info inside." Someone whispered. "Holy hell." Mallory tried to speak. Couldn't. I didn't wait. I turned. Walked out. Dana is right behind me. The door closed. The party was over. By the time I got home from the party, my phone was buzzing nonstop. Text after text. Some from mutual friends. Some from people I hadn't spoken to in years. One even from her cousin, Lauren. "I don't know what happened tonight, but she's hysterical. Just know, I've always liked you more." I didn't reply. I just poured myself a drink, sat on the couch, and watched the quiet. For the first time in what felt like a year, my life had soundproofed itself from her chaos. The next morning, Mallory showed up. Banged on the door like a cop with a warrant. I didn't answer. She screamed through the wood. "You blindsided me. In front of everyone. I can't believe you would do that." The irony was delicious. She couldn't believe I would do that. She cried. Then threatened. Then begged. I let her scream. Then I slid an envelope under the door. Her keys. Her burner phone. A printed screenshot of the group chat where our friends lit her up after the party. The caption on the printout? "This is what the truth looks like." Dana and I kept in contact. Her divorce lawyer moved fast. She was filing for full custody. Luke's company was already investigating. Apparently, HR had received an anonymous tip about extramarital misconduct during work hours. I don't know who sent it. I do. Mallory's parents called me. Twice. Left voicemails about how this was a personal matter, and we shouldn't have made a scene. I sent back a single message. "Ask your daughter how long she was planning to keep the pregnancy secret." They didn't call again. I changed the locks. Told her to forward anything legal to my attorney. My inbox was closed to her forever. The house was quiet. Mine, not just by deed, but in energy. I cleared out her side of the closet. Every dress, every pair of heels. I donated them. Did she want a new life? I was making room for one of my own. A week after the party, I got a letter. Handwritten. Unfolded it slowly. "Mallory." She didn't apologize. Not really. She said she felt trapped, like she lost herself in routine. And Luke made her feel seen. She said she never meant for it to go that far. Funny. 8 weeks into a pregnancy with another man doesn't sound like a short stumble. She begged me to meet, to talk, to try closure. Closure? I already had it. It played on a projector in front of 40 people. I never responded. Some things deserve silence more than sympathy. But the best part? I didn't just lose her. I lost the version of myself who tolerated being sidelined, gaslit, ignored. I lost the man who second-guessed every gut instinct, who flinched at confrontation, who believed love meant tolerating pain. That man is gone. And what's left? A man who tells the truth. Out loud. On screens. With receipts. Some people think healing is quiet. It's not. It's messy. Loud in the mind. Comes in waves. Anger, relief, then disbelief all over again. But one morning, I woke up and realized something wild. I didn't check her socials. I didn't wonder where she was. I just made coffee, stared out the window, and enjoyed the silence. That was the beginning. I started reclaiming space, tore out the bedroom paint, soft pink she picked out on a whim, repainted it slate gray, cool, calm, mine, got rid of the sheets she loved, donated the dinnerware we used for those fake dinner parties. I replaced them all with things I actually liked. Turns out I like quiet colors, clean lines, and dinners without lies baked into the marinade. My phone stopped buzzing. The gossip settled. The world moved on. But me, I was just getting started. I hit the gym again. The real kind, no selfies, no mirrors. Just metal and sweat and effort. I read, stopped scrolling, started meditating. 5 minutes became 10. 10 became 30. I reconnected with my sister. Took my niece to a pumpkin patch. Watched her laugh like betrayal didn't exist. She handed me a tiny pumpkin. "Uncle E," she said. "This one's yours. It looks serious like your face." I laughed. Hard. The kind that surprises you. I hadn't laughed like that in months. Maybe longer. Mallory still tried, occasionally. A sad email. A vague voicemail. A friend texted. "She asked about you." But I didn't respond. Because she wasn't just asking about me. She was asking about the version of me that used to orbit around her. That man was gone. One night, I walked past the mirror and didn't recognize the guy staring back. He looked sharper. Not because of the haircut, but because his eyes didn't flinch anymore. I sat down, opened my laptop, and started writing. Not a post. Not revenge. Just thoughts. About boundaries. About what love really should feel like. Turned into a blog. Then a Reddit post. Then a small audience. Then hundreds of messages from strangers. Thank you. I thought I was the only one. I wasn't. And maybe that's the real win. Not just getting revenge, but using the fallout to build something better. 6 months later, I passed her in a grocery store. She was alone, hair unwashed, sweatshirt baggy, pushing a cart full of almond milk and frozen meals. I didn't flinch, just kept walking, past the avocados, past aisle 7. She saw me. I saw her see me. Our eyes met for half a second, and then she looked down. That was it. No words, no scene. Just the unmistakable silence of someone who knows they lost the best thing they ever had, and watched him rise without them. I walked out of that store with eggs, coffee, and peace. Nothing dramatic. No monologues. Just clarity. The blog grew. My inbox is filled with stories like mine. Some worse. Some are eerily similar. People poured out their heartbreak like I once did. And I responded. Not as a victim, but as proof. You can go from being sidelined in your marriage to the main character of your life. That betrayal doesn't have to end your story. Can start your real one. I got invited to speak at a small men's group. Talk about boundaries, they said. Talk about trust. I stood in front of 20 strangers and told them everything. From the test under the sink to the burner phone to the night I hit play at her birthday party. And when I finished, someone said, "You're not angry anymore, are you?" I thought about it. "No," I said. "I'm not angry, because anger gave me movement. But purpose gave me direction." The final divorce decree came in the mail 2 weeks later. Stamped. Finalized. Clean. I didn't cry. I didn't celebrate. I just exhaled. The ghost was gone. The chain was cut. And the last lie Mallory ever told me, that I'd be lost without her, well, let's just say I stopped being lost the moment I stopped looking for her. So here's the truth. She wanted a baby to trap me, to anchor me to a life of half-truths and quiet gaslighting. But in trying to trap me, she freed me. Because now I have a life with no secrets, no scripts, no shadows. Just sunlight, and a story worth telling. Have you ever stared betrayal in the face and walked away stronger? What would you do if you found that test under the sink? Let's talk. Because sometimes the best revenge is no longer needing one. Hope you enjoyed this story as much as I do. Help this small channel grow by hitting that like button, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. Every bit of support means the world. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.